What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to start our reassembly process of the 2007 Honda CBR 600. So this scattered array of parts from the CBR 600 has been sitting here for probably over a month right now. I stripped the bike down, and because the last time in the last video we found out that the frame had some structural damage, there was a crack and some dents in the frame, and a lot of people were worried about, the reliability of that frame after it was going to get repaired. So I actually did get the old frame repaired, but for safety reasons and some liability reasons, I did buy a new frame, and that's in the box right there. But first I want to show you guys the repairs to that old frame. Right here is where there was that big dent in there. I had a friend of mine fill that in with some aluminum. He's a professional welder, and he filled that in with aluminum weld. And down here, same thing, filled it in, ground it down so it's flush with the frame, and everything is looking good now. So this frame I'm going to use for like my personal bike. I'm going to probably create like a track bike out of this frame. But for this build, I'm going to use the new frame that I bought. It's a clean title, not damaged frame. So let's open this box and check out the new frame. So here's our new frame. The thing with this one is it's completely stripped out right now. It's strictly the frame. What I'm going to need to do is transfer the swing arm over to our new frame, along with any miscellaneous hardware, any little nuts and bolts. The steering stem and the front duct is all going to have to go over to this new frame. All right, I've got that swing arm off of the old frame, so now I can put that onto the new one. I forgot that I have a new front ram air duct coming, because this one's all busted and broken, so I'm not going to be using that one. And another thing is I'm going to take these stickers off of the swing arm just because they're kind of tacky, so I'm going to get the heat gun and try and remove these also. So I've got the swing arm on the frame now. This is sitting upside down. But what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take my trusty Gunk engine shine. I love using this stuff. And I'm gonna use it to clean up the motor. It's real super dusty and dirty right now. So I'm just gonna spray some of this stuff on there, clean it up, and then I'm gonna work on getting the frame and dropping it onto the motor and connecting the motor mount bolts so we can start getting this thing back together. All right, we are starting to get somewhere. I've got the motor in the frame now. I've got all the motor mount bolts attached to the motor, except for this one because I can't find the spacer for it. I'm sure it's somewhere underneath in the middle here, but I've got the motor mount bolt there. I've got the one down there, and I've got the other one over here all in. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to throw the rear wheel on, so that way I can get this thing on a rear stand, and then I'm gonna throw the forks with the front wheel on so that way we can roll it around. Let's do that. Oh yeah, and I totally forgot to mention that we got our wheels back from powder coat. These are the same wheels that were originally that black and red. They were painted originally. These are now powder coated a gloss white, looks super clean, real nice. The guy that did the powder coat for me, Brandon Monte with Powder Kings LLC here in Lockport, New York. He did a great job with these, and we'll check out the front one too. There we go. Yeah, these look super nice, super clean, and I've got these little 90-degree valve stems on here too. I love these things. Super easy for filling up the tires. So I'm gonna get the rear rotor on now. I'm gonna use some red Loctite to tighten up those bolts and keep those secure. We do not want those bolts backing out. And then after that, I'm gonna throw the front rotors on the front wheel, and then we will continue the process of reassembly. Now for these front rotors on the CBR, there's a little directional arrow right here. You can see it's pointing forward, and I'm matching that up with the arrow that's on the tire. There's a little arrow pointing this way, so that way we know we have our arrows and our rotors on the correct way. All right, next what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our cush drives. These are little rubber, basically cushions that go in between the rear wheel and the hub right here. So these are gonna be like little cushions that go sit in between here and it basically helps transfer the power from the chain to the rear wheel and keeping it nice and smooth. So we're gonna install those and get this on here. Now we can install our rear wheel, making sure we get these spacers on the inside of the wheel there. And I always like to just give a little grease on the rear axle. Make sure everything's nice and lubed up. And that should make everything glide nice and smooth while the bike is going down the road. All right, this is starting to come together nice. We got the front end on, we've got the front wheel on, and we've got the rear wheel on. Now I still have to get like the chain adjuster bolts here that I have to swap over, and same with the front. This is really just a real rough draft to just kind of get everything set up. And these forks are actually from another parts bike that I had, because our old ones were all rashed up on top. These ones are nice and clean, but the only thing is this one has a really leaky fork seal. You can see all this crud and debris and oil down here. So I'm gonna have to do fork seals on both front forks for this, but this thing is starting to come together. I love the look of those white wheels. I'm just such a huge fan of white wheels. I love them on bikes. It goes so well with the black tires. And yeah, this is finally starting to come together. Hopefully, you know, in the next week I can start to clean up more of these parts and we can start getting this bike even more together. All right guys, so that is gonna wrap up today's video. I hope you enjoyed this part of the CBR rebuild. I still have a long ways to go, but this is really starting to come together. So until next time, I will see you guys later. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment below on what you guys think about this build so far. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.